Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to episode number 65 of the Five for Fighting podcast. My name is Alec, your host, and this is the show where we focus on the players who dropped the gloves and the fans who enjoyed watching them do it. Five for Fighting podcast is, of course, a proud member of Six Pack Media Coverage. Six Pack Media Coverage covers all different sorts of sports, even sports betting, fitness, health, anything like that. And I myself should take some notes of this beautiful illustrious body we have going on here. So I should probably check out some of the fitness stuff that they have on there. But no, I was recently signed to Six Pack Media Coverage probably about a month or two ago. And it's been great so far. You know, the boys pump up the show, and I followed a couple of the other shows. They do, like I said, a lot of different shows as far as sports go: college football, baseball, basketball, football. I'm part of the hockey section of there. So I encourage you to go check that out. And I appreciate those who do follow, and go check out their YouTube channel. That's hopefully where this video is going to be. I'm doing something a little bit different here. I said I apologize for the delay over here on Twitter earlier today. I'm going to break down this. So if you can tell by today's title is the top 5 ECHL fights of the year so far. And of course, this is all track in 2021. So I'm trying to, upload. I wanted to do something different with the media guys, because they upload all my episodes up to YouTube. So I figured, why not try to, record the interviews that I have, which I recorded one with Nico Blatchman a while back, and that's up on the channel. But I figured I'd try to do even the solo episodes, because it's another outlet for people to listen to the show. If people don't have social media, to find out about the show, there's YouTube. A lot of people are always on YouTube. So, and of course, my channel has been growing a little bit as I post more and more of the fights from the ECHL. I think we're almost up to finally 300 subscribers. So looking forward to hitting that landmark there. So like I said, trying something a little bit different here. I'm trying to make sure everything is solid, because I'll be doing a lot of screen sharing here today. That way, when the video comes out, you could see the video of the fights that I'm actually talking about while I'm breaking them down. And by top 5 fights, I mean, it's not necessarily in order. It's just what I think are the best fights, because there's a lot of different factors that go into what somebody may think is the best fight of the year, whether it's, a marathon fight like a Probert McSorley style, whether it's toe-to-toe, kind of like a Tasker Sen. There's a bunch of different factors that play into it. So this list is going to kind of have every, few and far in between a couple TKOs, kind of more of a toe-to-toe battle, longevity fights. So it's only a top 5, but I think it's going to be a solid list. But before we get into that, of course, I got to give a shout out to the usual suspects, the other Enforcer podcast that I encourage everybody to go check out. Darion over at the Fourth Line Voice. He's the original Enforcer podcast. And, him and I think all me, him, and Joe are on the same boat. We're kind of, we haven't done any guests because it's the holidays, right? So it's been tough to get some guests lined up, and everything's kind of crazy at the moment, because everybody's traveling for the holidays, getting stuff together, the New Year. So, a couple weeks after, I think we're going to start. All the shows are going to start getting more guests on again, and even myself included. I have a guy lined up for this Monday, returning guest to the show, but fantastic guy. I can't wait to talk to him. He tells some great stories, and he actually helps develop kids that come into the ECHL and other leagues. He's got a couple in the NHL now too, so he's a hockey coach, and some of his players are even up in the pro leagues now. So I'd like to get to know that side of it a bit more. But I think it'll be a great listen, and of course, we're going to have some more fight stories from him, because he was actually put up a lot of PIMs and fought some tough dudes out in the Colonial League back in the day. So I look forward to getting him back on the show. But yeah, so anyways, as I was saying with Darion, he's done a lot of solo episodes. I forget the last episode he just did. I know he kind of covered some of the stuff that I forget the title of it, but I know he covered some of the stuff that I went over in my last episode, where kind of, people stealing content here and there. And I even found another one on YouTube today. The Travis Howe and Blatchman video that I uploaded, somebody stole it, uploaded it for theirs. Of course, I uploaded it, and I noticed it, and then it was 2 days later they have it uploaded. There's 1,000 views, so that's 1,000 views I lose on my channel, right? And you can tell I know it's my video, because I'm the one who edited it and clipped the sections of video together. So it's a little greasy, and I commented. I'm waiting to see if they reply on it, but nonetheless, we will keep on trucking here. But anyways, yeah, Darion over at the Fourth Line Voice, original Enforcer podcast, has a great back catalog of tough guys. If you're listening for the ECHL, he's got plenty of ECHL guys on there. We've both had Pete Vandermeer on. He had on John Morasti, Steve McIntyre, Joey Tedorenko, LNH guys as well, like Dan Kopech, who else? Marco Cefalo, he's had on. Great back catalog. I encourage you to go check out his show. Again, that's Fourth Line Voice. And I encourage you to check out his YouTube channel as well. He has a great library of fights ranging from junior to NHL from a bunch of different guys. So I encourage you to go check out his podcast. And Joe over at the Coliseum Chronicles, the Penalty Box, as you can tell by the name, he is a Islanders-based, Enforcer-based podcast, and he covers anybody who is in the Islanders system, whether it's the NHL, AHL, ECHL, whatever the case is. If they were in the Islanders, team system at one point, then he tries to reach out and interview them and talk to them. And he's even branched out a little bit as of late and gone over to I forget the actual name, but it's the Riptide, the indoor lacrosse team that they have out there. Very fun to listen to. I've always loved to get into lacrosse, but it wasn't big down here in Florida. Lacrosse is more of a bit of a northern sport, I think. But down here in Florida, it's got a little bit bigger, but I actually tried to play it when I was in high school. And you couldn't find a fucking league anywhere. So it was unfortunate, but it's just like, how hard was it to find hockey back in the day in Florida, right? And, now there's a rink everywhere, and I'm fortunate enough to have Hertz Arena right down the road. But growing up, there wasn't rinks everywhere like it is now. Well, I shouldn't say everywhere, but they're more common now. But yeah, so go check out Joe's show. He does a great job with the Islanders tough guys. He's had Trevor Gillies, fucking Kerry Clark Wilm, Mike McWilm. Did he have Clark Wilm on? I forget. Maybe that was Fourth Line Voice. Sometimes our guests intertwine a little bit, but nonetheless, Joe does a great job. Gets all the deep cuts for the Islanders tough guys, and his interviews are very thorough, very well done. So there you go, boys. I hope my check is in the mail for both of you. I gave you the quick shout out. So, but yeah, anyways, I guess we'll get into it a little bit here. So, like I said, we'll be going over the top 5 ECHL fights of 2021. It's not of the entire season so far, because of course we still have the rest of the 2022 half of the season to play out, and playoffs, of course. So like, there's no parameter, it's no set order really. It's more so just the top 5 in general. I don't think that there is, because like I said, there's so many opinions that go into what an individual thinks makes a good fight. As like I said, it could be the toe-to-toe rock'em sock'em style, could be like the absolute marathon fights, it could be a KO or whatever. So I got a little bit of everything in this top 5 list. So we will get into it here shortly. Let me see here. I just gotta, like I said, this is new to me. I'm screen sharing on here, so hopefully everything comes out right. And like I said, I'm recording everything on the Zoom app or whatever you want to call it. So like I said, bear with me here. I apologize if it is not the greatest of quality, but so we already have the ECHL fights up here, but let's see here. So number 5, I guess we'll start off, and it was the very first fight I ever saw of the Everblades live. This was opening night, and it's Travis Howe versus Kyle Newber. We'll look at the one that doesn't have a drunk asshole screaming in the background, because I don't know who that guy was, but he got after it a bit. Definitely wasn't me. But we'll watch the actual broadcast view here. But this fight, going into it was my first time at an Everblades game. Well, I shouldn't say it was my second time, but first time since I think it was 2012. And going to this game, I knew there were Jacksonville, and I think 720 is the highest I can go. Yeah. Jacksonville and Florida had a very good rivalry going on. And this is, as you can see up here, 17 minutes and 27 seconds into the game. I'm going to try to, I know if you're watching this on YouTube, you're like, probably fucking, hey, start the video. But you got to remember, I'm also doing this in terms of just a podcast, so people are listening to this in audio form. So I got to give them kind of a little bit of a background of what's going on, and the fight and everything like that. And of course, if you want to pause it and go look it up, you can look up Kyle Newber versus Travis Howe broadcast angle 10/23/2021. So this is opening night for the Everblades. And I'd been a big fan of Newber. I'd done my research on him leading up to this game, and this was a lot of fun. And this fight delivered for sure. Probably the best fight live I've seen. A long time, because of course, as you know, if you're a long time listener to the show, I was back in Tampa, and seeing a good fight on the Lightning, I can't remember the last time I even saw a solid one. I'm not even kidding. At least live, it probably had to be. Back in like the early to mid 2000s, probably maybe 2010 ish. I remember the last good fight I saw on the The actual TV was Luke Wikowski versus Tanner Glass. That was a good one. It was at least a longer one. But this is in the category of kind of a marathon fight. So let's get into it here. And I'll kind of be going over the audio a little bit here while it plays, just to give people who are listening in the audio format, a kind of a background of what's going on here. So there we go. Travis Howe versus Travis Howe versus Kyle Newber. Round one, they fought, I think, 3 times this year so far, but this is round one. They either fought once or twice, or excuse me, 2 or 3 times. So here we go. Round one. This was opening night. Yeah, for some reason the broadcast is really quiet and then it comes in. So give me a second here. We gotta love how the ECHL is.
Well, we're gonna have a
there
fight
it is.
Right off the draw here.
So they dropped the buckets, which, by the way, in the ECHL is also another. It's like the NHL. They adopted the it's a 2-minute an extra 2 minutes for dropping the bucket. So they started off in the zone and they kind of skate out a little bit towards center ice after they dropped the buckets. And so here we go. The audio is really low on this one. Sometimes the audio is super high and sometimes it's super low. But here we go. So it's at center ice. They lock up here.
Newber and Howe.
Newber's the aggressor at first, and then Howe kind of comes back. And I should have actually, you know what? Let me go back and we'll mark it here, because this was like I said, this was a long fight. So from the time they locked up, so it's 16 seconds. So from the time they locked up, 17. There we go. So we'll say 17 or 18 seconds. But yeah, so Newber's the aggressor at first, and Howe starts coming back. I'd maybe give the edge to Howe in this fight, but I think it was a very solid fight. And again, it was a marathon fight. Both dudes kind of don't want to trade back and forth like craziness, because they're 2 very heavy-handed dudes for sure. This is like the heavyweight fight. So Newber's got the long hair going, and so Howe's missing a bit there. He connected on 2, and then Newber comes back. Howe's waving off the linesman there. Loved that. I loved every second of that. And I think once they get to the boards, then Newber starts throwing again. But I'd give the edge to Howe. I think he had more volume of punches in this one. There you go.
Fire on the right side.
Kind of delayed there. There we go. Sounded like a fucking Decepticon.
Duking it out. Kyle Newber for the Everblades. And once again,
so I mean, pretty solid fight as far as so let's see, it ended up at 110, and we started, I think, at the 18-second mark. So I mean, almost a minute long fight, which is long in today's standards. But I get it. It may not be the greatest fight ever, but in terms of entertainment value for me, it's up there at 1. I'm an Everblades fan. I get it new starting this year. Everblades fan, but at the same time, I think it was a great fight. It was something I hadn't seen in a long time. So I think I'm a little bit biased in that aspect, but it happens, right? So I gotta give that one at number 5. So we'll move on here to number 4. And so I kind of got like a general list on, and I might do a couple honorable mentions, but number 4, this was a really good one. This was actually my vote. I think this might have been the best fight of the year, in my opinion. Let me see here. It's first. I could probably just put Skio, and it'd be. So this was Shawn Allen versus Darion Skio, and this was a great fight. Let me see here. Let it load, and here we go. So this is another one, very good one. It's kind of dropped the gloves at center ice. It was Allen. Allen was up 5-2, and so Shawn Allen wanted to respond and did a great job. This fight is fucking awesome. This was one of the one of the better ones I've seen in quite some time. Let's see if I can. All right, so 60 frames per second in this one. The other one wasn't. So hopefully the quality is a little bit better here. But I think it's pretty solid so far. But yes, so Shawn Allen and Darion Skio, 2 tough, probably one of the toughest dudes in the league as far as Darion Skio goes. And Shawn Allen is definitely no slouch. I'd maybe put him just outside the top 5, but I mean, if you put him in the top 5, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's fucking ridiculous. I could definitely see it too. So this one was a solid one right here at center ice as well.
How about that?
So he takes it, whips it over, whips it over, and then just starts dropping the gloves. And it's right there at center ice here.
Usually happens
just a touch here. Like I said, with the volume on these, because it's the coast, so you never know how guys have their audio set up for when they're announcing. So some of them are super loud, and then other ones are really quiet. Like the last one was pretty quiet, but so here we go.
Get a little crazy on one
so they trade back and forth quite a bit here. I think Skio might edge him out a little bit. But again, that's no discredit to Allen at all. So Allen's bucket falls off, and then Skio comes over with the right hand. Then Shawn Allen responds with the left hand. That's pretty solid.
Trying to get free. Right there.
A couple of jersey jabs to kind of get Skio off. And Skio's over there pumping the crowd up mid-fight, which I mean, just fucking awesome.
Big daddy fight.
Big Daddy fight. Yeah, you heard it. You heard it first. I think this is the Allen announcer. But that was a pretty good one as far as trading back and forth. And those were some heavy punches going. I think they showed the replay here. But yeah, that so far as like kind of like the toe-to-toe fights has been one of the best ones I've seen of the year. I know it wasn't like wide open Tasker Sen style machine gun punches, but the boys delivered. Skeo is awesome. I know Garrett Klotz is a really tough dude as well. Which who knows, you might see one of his fights in this top 5 as well. So here we go. You can see the slow-mo here. It's when there you go, the over the top with the right hands by Skeo were solid. But and I love how some of these replays, I forget what club it is. It might be Jacksonville, but they do like a fights for flights thing, and it's like some sort of promo if there's a fight, which is just tremendous. Only in the minors would you see that shit. So definitely, and then there's Skeo. Oh, you can't see it over there. Yeah, Skeo pumps the crowd up there. I mean, like mid-fight doing that shit. I love it. And then Allen lands a really good left hand there. So again, if you're listening to this in the audio form and you want to actually go to YouTube and see what we're talking about and follow along, I encourage you to. I'll share the link on my Facebook and Twitter and everything like that as well. But this was definitely a solid fight. Loved every second of that one. Moving on to number 3, we'll get another TKO in here. And, like I just said, I mentioned him, Garrett Klotz. So the next ones will be, I think all 3 are actually technically TKOs. So we'll keep going on to that. So we'll go Garrett. I love how fucking Jarrett Burnett comes up there. Garrett Klotz versus Crunk. There we go. So this is Garrett Klotz versus Taylor Crunk. Taylor Crunk, tough dude on the Utah Grizzlies, but Klotz, dude's been doing it for years, and Klotz is one of the best in the business, if you ask me. Plays for the Rapid City Rush, and it's funny because this is like the home announcer. They must not have had a good angle at the fight because he TKOs the shit out of him with an uppercut. It's a fantastic uppercut, and you can see that you'll see it in the slow-mo replay down the line here. But the announcer's like, "Oh, I think Crunk just fell," and it's like the home announcer. You'd think he'd be, holy shit, he just knocked him out or whatever. But you could tell, as I just said, he knocked him out. So Klotz he throws like I think 2 punches, then just lands an uppercut right on the chin of Crunk and just skates away. Like he was done.
Fight Garrett Klotz.
So it's really quick. You could see, and he just but the slow-mo angle on the opposite side is a lot better. But it's literally just 2 quick punches, then an uppercut, and it's almost like I don't like to compare real life to video games, but I swear it looked like the uppercut you throw in NHL or whatever, where you kind of TKO a guy real quick and just skate away. It pretty much looked like that, honestly. So let me see, the reverse angle should be coming up here. Here we go. Let me go to this one. Yeah, here it is in slow-mo. But it's literally, like I said, they connect. I don't even think there it is. You can definitely tell he hits him with the uppercut there. Crunk I only think got 1 punch in. This is a good angle of it. There it is. So I mean, just connects him. You can see his head whip back and everything. So that was definitely one of the best ones of the year for sure as far as TKOs go. Moving on, we will go to another TKO. So this one, Cole Frazier TKO. That should be it. That should come up, I believe. Here we go. So this is Cole Frazier versus Tommy Apap, or Apap, however you prefer to say it. So Cole Frazier is playing for Toledo, and Tommy Apap is playing for Indy. And this fight, I don't think you get a good reverse angle of it, but I think the best part for me about this fight in the pinnacle of minor pro hockey. So, in Detroit, during the game and the playoffs, to throw the octopus, Nashville, to throw the catfish. Well, of course, the Toledo walleye. Some motherfucker throws a damn walleye on the ice after the fight. And when I first saw this, I about pissed myself laughing so hard, because it's just like, I don't know if you'd ever see that in the NHL, especially after a fight. But I mean, and Cole Frazier gets the win. He TKOs him. A fucking walleye gets thrown on the ice. So here we go here.
Defensively, McKay was dropped by Frazier.
McKay, that's another tough dude. I dig McKay, Riley McKay, another tough dude on Indy. And I think he was initially going to fight McKay, And then APAP came in. I could be wrong. So they were like, kind of trying to figure out who's going to fight him. So now of course they go to center ice. They drift over a little bit towards the benches. But you'll see it's a pretty quick TKO. That's where it is. He comes over with the right hand. He throws a couple, and then he comes over with the right hand. And you can really see it kind of connect on APAP. You can see his head kind of whip over. Frazier's fucking hyped. You love to see it. The fans are going ape shit. Pinnacle minor pro hockey. I know some people don't like the whole celebrating after a fight or whatever. Everybody's so wrapped up in the code. Fuck, it's minor pro hockey. These fans aren't here to see the next Alexander Ovechkin or Sidney Crosby. I promise you. To kind of hamming it up to the crowd a bit is just it all adds for the entertainment value of minor pro hockey. People who don't like it, I don't know why they wouldn't. It's just pure entertainment. So. But anyways, going on, Cole Frazier with a lovely TKO, getting the crowd into it, and there it is, the fucking walleye on the ice. Absolutely killed me. Let me see if I forget if the announcers mentioned it. See if they show. I think they showed the replay.
The two of them chatted it out. Finally.
Sometimes they'll show the replay, sometimes they don't. So this one they do, and you can definitely see him. And I love Frazier's got the tooth missing in the front already. And those Toledo jerseys are a thing of beauty. I absolutely love them. That was the one right there. You can see it. I wanted to show another angle. Here we go. There it connects.
That third right.
Oh, the ref. Yeah, that's right. The ref gets right in the way. I remember that. I was like, damn it. You can kind of see it, but you could definitely see his head move, and he definitely connected with it. But fantastic fight. How can you not love that? So the next one is, we'll look it up. I believe it's just Urkamp's fight. Oh, missed that. There we go. So, McCroy Urkamps versus Diego Cuglietta, and this is a one-hitter quitter. This is up there. If you wanted to put this at number one, I don't doubt it. One-hitter quitter. So he I forget if it was it a hit that happened. It might have been this hit down here that you can see. Might have been a hit that happened, and somebody steps in and Urkamp's absolutely just, it's funny because Cuglietta gets the right hand going, and then Urkamp's just lands one, and that's all it took.
And he takes a shoulder straight.
I remember it's a funny thing about this video. I had to mark it as like not safe for children. Oh, can I get that thing off the damn screen? Hold on. There we go. All right. So I don't know why the little search was showing up on the screen. So here we go. But yeah, I had to mark this as like, I had to put an age fucking verification on this because YouTube just doesn't like the violence, oh God. Yeah, but do you think they ever do that in any of the fucking NHL videos? I doubt it. Yeah, but I get flagged for it. So anyways, here's the fight. So it was after that hit. And they're right at center ice. Stingrays are the home team.
Cuglietta, a couple of left-handed jabs and a big
man, like it was like he was going, and then Urkamp just waited him out for a quick second. And as soon as Cuglietta put his hand back, Urkamp just came in with a quick right hand and just floored him. It was a one-hitter quitter. It was a great fight. I can't remember, did they show the replay? They do show the replay on this. Like I said, some of them they don't show the replay, and I've uploaded so many I can't quite remember. So yeah, he's going with the left hand, and then he's going and going, and then as soon as he pulls back for one of them, it was like Urkamp's waited for one of the punches to not land, and once he was done. I don't know why that little thing came up here. Let me see here. Sorry, that's the LNA. That was some LNH thing going on. What is this thing on here that come on now? All right, so something came up on my damn little notification came up. So I think was that number two? I think it was number two, right? We had Howe, we had Skeo, Frazier, Urkamps. Yeah, so that was number two. So number five now. So it all depends on which way you want to look at it. Let me see here. Is that right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, that was 5. Excuse me. That's right. So I have an honorable mention in here, and this was the Cyclones versus Wheeling, and this was where they had 3 fights in the first period at the very end, and so this is kind of the honorable mention because I know it's not a single fight, but it is in fact a little melee at the very end. So you can see here. First period, the period is over, so nothing left.
There's still some jaw jacking. Hutchison doesn't agree with the call.
And so, it's about a 3-minute video here. but
trying to get him away.
shit started, like, they're all kind of
to
talking and
Jesse
shit talking there at the
Dominic
line or
Franco.
whatever, and keep going and going and going.
And now there's some pushing and shoving in front of the bench, and an official is not.
And it takes a minute for it to pop
Paye
off, and then once it does, it's like 1 fight, 2 fight, 3 fight.
Over there is Colton Waltz,
And what's funny is
going to come back.
so here's where shit starts getting real. And I remember watching this because I think an Everblades game was on that night. And I think it was literally my first night watching it on Flow Sports because I didn't have Flow Sports yet, which for those listening, that's how you're able to watch all the ECHL games, just through that app. And I didn't have it yet. And the period had ended for Florida. And so I was like, oh, I'll just switch over to Indy versus Wheeling, whatever, or not Indy, excuse me, Cincinnati versus Wheeling. And this is literally this was the first 5 minutes of me watching this shit happens. And so I was loving it.
My
wife was just laughing. I'm sitting there going ape shit in the room, like, this is fucking awesome, holy shit.
And it is.
So this is the honorable mention, we'll say. So gloves are off for 2 of them, right? Or excuse me, for 4 guys right now.
Gloves are also off for another.
I didn't see it because you can't get a good, there's no good camera angle at it, but apparently the dude by the bench got fucking floored over here, up here on the top. We'll see if, I don't think you actually get a good view at it, but the guy in Cincinnati, the announcer said he got fucking punched out.
And I gotta
it's once he turns him around.
Now they're still
and we can't see it. It's while that's going on. The guy's going off.
Hard.
You kind of see the very end of it, but apparently he hit him with a good one over by that bench. So you think it's all over, and then 2 more guys square off after all said and done. And I want to say the ECHL handed us some suspensions for this, but it is what it is.
Had enough, and the crowd to their feet.
And you'll see it back over. It's like it'll come down like right around here, I think.
I hope Dejan Mingo's all right. He appears
again, I'm sorry if you're listening to the audio format, you can't quite see it, but I encourage you to check out these videos and check it out on YouTube. It helps the pod out, and I'm trying to grow the YouTube channel a bit here, so I think it'll be great.
Everybody was
there. We go.
We've got another.
So then they square off again.
Gloves are down. This
Nick Boca's a pretty tough dude.
And now a guy goes down. Nick Boca right on top. He's fighting with Shawn Boomhauer, former Cyclone.
Somebody asked me, is his name actually Boomhauer? And I was like, yeah, just like King of the Hill.
Fight after fight in the center ice time. Then Boca gets hit hard and hard again. Another shot.
Yeah, Boomhauer just keeps going after that, man. Boomhauer he must have been pissed, but it was good. Everybody was fucking excited. It was a great sequence of fights for sure. I mean, I absolutely love it. There's always quite a few little kind of scuffles in between periods, I've noticed, especially at the Everblades games. Are they showing you replays here? They might. I think at this point they were cleaning. They were cleaning up
goes off and
the stuff on the ice, and they were still kind of jawing back and forth a bit. It was really it looked like they were going to go for another second, but they never ended up going. So there was 3 fights. So that's the honorable mention. We stopped the screen share here. You go back to the Zoom call. So that's basically it. That was kind of the breakdown of the top 5 fights of the ECHL, and an honorable mention for that nice little melee. I know the Stingrays had one. I forget with who. It might have been Jacksonville. But the fights in the Cincinnati versus Wheeling were a lot better in my opinion. So that's why that's in the top 5, or excuse me, the honorable mention. There's a couple fights you could do. I know the one with Garrett Klotz and Austin Crossy was pretty good. Klotz actually, I mean, Crossy didn't get going at all. Klotz just clobbered him, no pun intended. Kearley and Thrower, the other was, I think it was like, what was it? Which Thrower? It was Josh Thrower. And I was trying to think if it was Josh or Dalton, but it was definitely Josh. That was a pretty solid one. Kearley and Coruscant, I got to watch that one live. That was one of the best hits I've seen live. Fuck it, we'll share the screen. We'll go to that one real quick, just because it's fun to do, and we're here for a good time, not a long time, right? So let me go for Kearley versus Coruscant. This is my first game I took the father-in-law to, and he was like, this is way different than the Lightning games. And so he was laughing. So you could see down here, I forget who it is, but he's got the puck. I didn't know this, but he was out with a concussion, and the hit was 100% clean. He just floored him. It was one of the best open ice hits I've seen live in a long time. So he's coming down the boards. Kearley just smokes him. And Coruscant, which, by the way, Noah Coruscant is Shane Coruscant's son, I believe. So, former NHL, gritty guy. So Coruscant's just an absolute thorn in the side. He absolutely mixes it up all the time. I mean, he knows his role. He's kind of like, he always yapping, but he's a solid player too. So I love it. I think the game needs people like that.
Kearley now dropping the glove.
But this is actually a pretty good one. And, Kearley in the early rounds, and then Corson comes back a little bit once they get lower in the corner here.
Corson trying to get back in there with the left hands.
Once Kearley gets on the boards, Corson comes back a little bit. And then
the two now collide in the
I think there's
near
maybe a couple more punches thrown before the
Kearley has
linesman
a
get in
pinball
there. But
on
it was a
the
little bit
wall
longer of a fight than I thought it was going to be.
Noah Corson now throwing the right hands.
So it pretty much ended after that. But yeah, so that was another one. That was an honorable. That would have been an honorable mention for me too, just because I got to see that live, and my father-in-law got to see that, and he was so excited after seeing that. So, I think he's definitely down to go to more Everblades games now. We'll put it that way. He had a lot of fun at that game. So those are my top 5, and my two honorable mentions now. ECHL Fights of the year 2021. Going forward, I'm hoping to do an end of year review, and maybe the same fights will be in there. I'd like to make hopefully a top 10 list, and I'd actually do a definitive one, because I'm the kind of guy where I think I like the toe-to-toe stuff a bit more. I rate that a little bit higher than a marathon fight, but you got to respect the hustle of a marathon fight, because goddamn, to be fighting that long on skates. Like I said, the Newber and Howe one was almost a minute long. That takes a lot out of you, especially when you got, those two dudes are big, which I'm curious to see where Travis Howe goes, because he was put on waivers. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, we'll wrap it up here. We're going on 30 minutes. I think that's a pretty solid video and podcast to record. Like I said, I apologize. I'm getting this out a day late. It's going to be out on Friday. Today's Thursday. Normally I try to get everything out on Thursday or Tuesday, but unfortunately, I was trying to figure this out, and I wanted to make sure I did everything right, and nothing kind of came out funky. So I think I finally got it at a good point where everything records at the same time. Hopefully down the line, I can get a better quality camera. I know this is just a webcam and whatever, but like I said, I think it's still pretty solid. So anyways, guys, I'll get out of your hair here. And I know you probably got other podcasts to listen to. If you're smart, you're going to go to Six Pack Coverage and listen to more of those guys. And you're going to go listen to Fourth Line Voice and Coliseum Chronicles. If you're smart, if you're a smart person, that's what I would do anyways. Anyways, I appreciate you for tuning into the podcast. If you want to give the podcast a follow, search it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's all there. If you want to give the media guys a follow over at Six Pack Coverage, you can go check out. They have a Twitter, Instagram, as well as their website. I'll have all the links to, especially the media guys. I'll have the link to the website down in the episode, as well as here on YouTube. So I'll have the link to everything down there. And I encourage you to please rate and review the show. Give it however many stars you listen to. I know Spotify just came out with a rating system. So let's try to get the wheels rolling on the podcast on Spotify. It's on Spotify there. So let's get the wheels rolling on that. See if we can get some 5 stars going for that, 4 stars, 3 stars, whatever you think. If you want to motherfuck me and say I'm an idiot, then go ahead and do that, I guess. But somebody recently posted on, let me see here. And I want to give a shout out to this person because they actually left a pretty solid review on iTunes. So, sorry, I'm dragging out this outro. But basically, this person said not having social media isn't a problem, but missing out on this pod was. Not anymore. As a Comets fan, I've got hours of entertainment to go, including some Bruce Watson hate listening, which is funny because Bruce Watson, fucking absolute beauty of a dude, the guy you love to hate if he wasn't on your team. He said, thanks, guys. Great pod. So, it's kind of cool, reaching out with the ECHL stuff. I think I'm reaching a little bit of a broader audience now that I'm covering a little bit more ECHL stuff. I know it's not directly fight related. Well, I talk about all the ECHL fights and the tough guys. So it's not like let's go week in the review. How was the Comets in Toledo game yesterday? I'm sure there's plenty of ECHL stuff out there, but specifically covering the fights, I think I'm kind of the only one doing that right now. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, please rate and review the show, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever the case is, wherever your outlet is, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go through. I post all the fights for the ECHL. Stay up to date on everything. So, anyways, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to see you all on the next episode, and please leave comments on the YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a good one.